Introducing Grand Corruption. Grand corruption is the abuse of high-level power that benefits the few at the expense of the many. Grand corruption causes serious and widespread harm to individuals and society. The Gambia is the smallest country in mainland Africa, with a population of less than 2 million. Its economy is heavily reliant upon the export of peanuts, and around 50% of the population lives in poverty. Yahya Jammeh seized control of the Gambia during a coup in 1994, overseeing a brutal dictatorship for 22 years. Countless human rights abuses and corrupt practices were recorded by national and international organizations. The Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, estimates that the regime plundered $1 billion from the country. Gambian citizens were left without healthcare, schools, pensions, and basic infrastructure.
The corruption of Yahya Jammeh in these past 22 years was a brutality in this country.
The whole country was victimized. People were killed, people were disappeared.
They pushed people and tortured people's mind that nobody would work on his own. Everyone was working to please him.
We've seen what corruption could do to a state. An underdeveloped state with corruption will never ever develop.
The OCCRP estimates that Jammeh misappropriated over $975 million of state funds, looting vast sums from the central bank, the state pension and welfare funds, as well as the state-run telecoms and oil companies.
Adu leptano ni nga musu ko ma so rasuto lan tel la jang no so kile ne bi jang ni nga na to no so ni ya sa fo bor tabulu ata han musu ko ma ni jubel fo moto soto ngata sare tiyo le no ma nga musu ko ma ni bulande wado nimbitala musu ko ma ni ase wulum bulu siloka wado ase bata
teminen gil Yahya Jammeh lami minen ala ko min kebi to sengo man sakunda min dogi ha min ngodi hay dara min kebane sengo man sakunda.
Social security over the years has been weakened to a level that the president actually does whatever he wants with the institution. The capacity to deliver the services that they are supposed to deliver to the contributors of the funds was catastrophically reduced.
Man amna ci ñun amna ci jafe-jafe ñun pensionnés yi ñun social security pensionnés yi waaye jox amuñ ko Jammeh daf ko jël yaay Jammeh daf ko jël.
Talking about the corruption on the educational side, as a professional teacher, I have little thing to say about the corruption of the 22 years of Yahya Jammeh's regime in this country. He would send out, officials to go around the school and see whether the money is executed on party issue or whatever. We are never mandated to use the money to build classes. We are never mandated to use the money to, buy books on whatever. So now looking at it, where you have a grade 9 student who cannot read a letter. You look at a grade 12 student who cannot read a letter. And before his regime, we have some people at Form 1, 2 who were able to read very well. And that's why we have this mass movement of people outside the country. Because you graduate from a senior secondary school, you did not have any good results. So what are you going to do in the country? This is the problem. This is the problem.
Jammeh's regime brutally repressed political dissent through mass arrests, torture, and forced disappearances. Corruption was the driver and the enabler of the regime's countless human rights abuses.
ba pare piko bi dañ dee teglante juróomi nit juróom benn amul kii tëdd ci kaw kii dañ lay dóor ba sa yaram bi fu nekk di génne deret.
dañ ma jàpp di ma dóor samay yii nii yëpp dafa mujjoon nii moom moo doon alkaali fii nii kii nii doon wax ak yéen sama rakki papa la woon sama papa bool keroog ba paraay ñëwee bañ ko ndañee fetal gi fee la dem bëñam yi dem dali ba léegi borom bi moom na ko làqu na léegi nii waaw.
moo dal lii ci nguuru Yahya Jammeh moo waral lii moo waral lii baat yi sukkandiku da ko def nag tax ñi am doole ji nga xet pom
minen laamu Yahya Jammeh ko caɗeele te o immotono o wiya faraji makko kanillaay ko baydoloɓe liggante ombo a suusa wasiya sa wiyama ka jahowo a suusa wasiya ko mba jaha te sa a yeehi liggagol ngol ala foftagol de si wona a jippo soldaroɓe na ndewi hema paraɓe na ndewi hema ko ali gotoɗo tan a foftotako.
What I could see was students shouting, running, guns and bullets firing up. So I tried to run away, running for our life. 14 students were killed on that very day, and I was shot in that process at this very, very place where I'm standing.
On my way running, I was shot on the middle of the road here.
I find myself being hospitalized. My treatment was incomplete because the security service, whenever they get accident, they used to go to that hospital and they didn't pay their bills. So it's a grand corruption because the government was having all the money to facilitate our treatment. The money was here. The big man was enjoying the money.
Who is the big man?
Yahya Jammeh.
I wanted to be a doctor. 19 years I couldn't be a doctor. I could not even try to finish my education. It has affected me immensely, definitely.
Grant corruption motivates and enables human rights abuses and atrocities. Grant corruption blocks our achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. The international community must prioritize tackling grant corruption and agree strategies to stop state capture by private interests around the world.